Now, this Wrangler is beefed up quite a bit from just the standard Wrangler. First of all, you get a massive intake right on your hood, a 392 sort of outlined in gold. That looks very cool. Rubicon to match the 392, and same thing with the outline on the Jeep. That is absolutely awesome. Huge fenders on the side here with all-terrain tires. This would be an incredible experience taking this thing off-roading with a 470 horsepower engine under there. So this is the Scat Pack engine, 6.4 liter V8, but it actually makes 15 less horsepower than the 6.4 that's in Scat Packs. Kind of interesting, but that's okay. All in all, I mean, it's still a Jeep, just a little bit spiced up here and there. Nothing too crazy on the side or in the back. Let's go ahead and hop in the back real quick and see how it feels here. Very nice. Plenty of room, and these seats are far back enough to give this a realistic perspective, and I am 5'11". In the back here, you're going to have your window controls, and no heated seats or anything. Little air vents here, but very, very standard back here. Let's hop in the front. And actually, before we do that, let me show you this. This thing has quad tip exhausts, 2 coming out on each side, and man, oh man, does this thing sound absolutely awesome. I've always liked the way that the tires on the back of these look. Just cool and different. A lot of cars are starting to do that now, like the G-Wagon, the Bronco, and more. All right, let's hop in this thing. So, a lot of buttons. We're gonna go over those. But, you know, materials in here are not really that special. I mean, this car is $80,000, guys. Like, really, Jeep? I mean, I get it. It's cool. It's got the 392 engine, but it's still a Jeep Wrangler. Asking $80,000 for this is just crazy. Let me know by the end of this if you think that's worth it. Let's go and start it up and take it for a drive. All right, here we are driving the Wrangler 392, an $80,000 Jeep Wrangler. It's those words should not go together, but they do. There are a few kind of strange things in this interior. For example, your window controls, putting them down is actually kind of strange. It's just different from every other car. It's gonna take a while to get used to that. Infotainment system in here is nice. You get just heated seats, no cooled seats, which, I mean, seriously, it's $80,000. And also, you don't even get the typical infotainment system that is in most Dodges. Like, we just got out of the Trackhawk, and in Hellcats and Scat Packs, you usually get performance pages, launch control, all that good stuff. But in this one, you actually don't, which is kind of an upset because, I mean, you could borderline consider this thing a Scat Pack, but I do understand owners of this vehicle are probably not really on the side of Scat Pack owners. They're different. They're Jeep Wrangler owners. They just want a faster Wrangler, which is fair. So this thing does have all-wheel drive, which means you can really put the power down from the Scat Pack engine. However, even with cars that have rear-wheel drive, you can still put the 470 horsepower that these things do make down to the road. Well, this one's 470, but other Scat Packs are generally 485. As I said, very busy situation going on here. So heated steering wheel, and if you don't want to access it in the infotainment system, that's very nice. Heated seats, 3 levels. You get an active exhaust mode, and when this thing is on, let's turn it off real quick. Performance exhaust off, and if you click it and turn it on, I mean, this thing sounds freaking amazing. Really good. Probably better than the Scat Packs that we rode in. This is a mean sounding frickin' vehicle. It's something that should not be coming out of a Jeep. We've got a Jeep right in front of us, and he don't know nothing about this thing. This one is absolutely crazy. Gauge cluster in here, standard, 2 analogs on the side, digital in the center. Red line of 6,000 RPM, which we absolutely will access every single RPM that we can in just a moment. Steering wheel feels good. A lot of space over here. You get the sort of gold / orange stitching around here to match the outline of the 392 and Rubicon and Jeep on the exterior, plus little orange lines going along in the gauge cluster there. So they did, you know, put some nice accents in here, along with the Rubicon 392 badge in the seats. Oh man, you don't even have to go past 3,000 RPM. This thing moves pretty quick. Nice little exhaust pop action as well. That is, whoa, okay. So this is slightly different because it's differently tuned. It makes 470 instead of 485, and it has that quad tip exhaust. This setup is crazy good, really, really good. And not to mention, I mean, you can take this top down, and you get the active exhaust. You get a bunch of configurations with like high, low drive, all that stuff. So this thing is really built to go off-roading. Okay, this is starting to make a little bit more sense why they're asking for 80. It is a Jeep Wrangler, but it really brings the Wrangler to the next level. And it's actually genuinely fast too. It does the 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds and the quarter mile in 13 seconds, which is, yeah, not like ultra impressive, but it's pretty good. You don't, in any car, you don't need to go faster to 60 than 4.5 seconds unless you just want to die or get arrested. This thing has a very, very high-pitched V8 sound. That is really cool. It's like a raspy, higher-pitched V8. I really like this. That has to be the most unique sound I've ever heard from a V8 in any car I've ever driven. Very, I don't want to use the word weird. It is weird, but it's like really good at the same time. Oh my gosh, and this thing is certainly not meant to be driven like a sports car, so it feels a bit odd, kind of tossing it around using all that power. Let's go and do a hard pull in this thing. 392, Jeep Wrangler, let's see what it does. Wowzers! So it's really not that fast, it just sounds insane. Really, like, very unique V8 sound. Unlike anything I've heard in my life. I love that. From a sports car perspective, yes, I wish it was a bit faster, but considering you'd probably want to take this thing off-roading and have enough power to just kind of go crazy out in the mud, this is exactly what you would want. Listening to that insane noise, well, with the top off, your windows down, maybe the doors off, and just flooring it through some off-terrain area, that would make this thing kind of actually worth the $80,000. Didn't think I'd be saying that in this video, but I just did. And those upshifts, very unique sound as well. You definitely get a lot of wind noise in here. This is a pretty boxy vehicle after all, so to be expected. As for the comfort in here, it's pretty good. Oh, those pops. Oh my gosh. Oh, that exhaust is just so good. Let's turn it off. See how it does now. You don't even hear it. That is wow. You could mistake this for a 4-cylinder with that exhaust, the valves closed. Let's do a little acceleration and see how it sounds. It opens it right back up. Yep. So if you do floor it, it pretty much reactivates. Let's turn them back on because listening to that is not going to get old. All right, let's go in and go from a dig and see what the 392 Wrangler can do. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. The launch in this thing hits so different. Wow. Like going from a roll, it's fast, but launching this thing, I mean, it goes from 0 to 20 miles an hour way quicker than it does from probably 40 to 50. That's what it feels like. It just like teleports you forward. Then it kind of slows down a little bit. I wouldn't really use the word slow for this thing, but compared to what it's like going from 0 to 20, yeah, it's different. Let's just do that another time because that felt amazing. Ready? Go. Yep. Oh Oh my gosh, the sound, the way it moves. 80 grand, okay. Again, I would still put it somewhere else, but yeah, that's the best sounding V8 I think I've ever heard, ever. And for a Wrangler, I mean, you could scare the crap out of some people because they would hop in the car and be like, oh, nice Wrangler. Oh yeah, buddy, you just wait until you see what this thing can do. And also, I love this shifter. It's the most satisfying thing to move forward and back. It's also very manly. Big button you gotta push, big shifter. I like that a lot. All right, let's go ahead and go from first gear and see how that feels. We'll just roll at a slow speed. Ready, set, go. Yeah, it moves. Wow, and the brakes actually are just as good as the acceleration. That's kind of the last thing I was expecting from this thing. But you definitely need it if you're gonna be flooring it on the road. This is a pretty big, pretty heavy vehicle. And again, you're basically in a tank with the steel up front. So I'm very happy to see that the brakes in this thing work as well as they do. Probably my favorite part about this car is that I would not be worried about it getting that messed up. You never want to mess up a car, you want to keep it nice, but a Wrangler is built to kind of get it a bit dirty, go through some rough terrain. And so, you know, somebody parking next to me and kind of bumping my door would not bother me nearly as much as in most other cars, especially with this paint scheme. It kind of hides some imperfections. That is so menacing. And addicting. Oh my gosh. So, I mean, $80,000, I can see why people would pay that. If you're into off-roaders, if you're into Wranglers, again, we didn't even take the doors off, we didn't take the top down. That would be another experience, and that would make the exhaust note 10 times louder from the interior. So I can actually see that. It's just, for, you know, this isn't really a car you'd want to put into the sports car territory. It's in its own league. So in being in the off-roading league, I could see if you live near some off-roading areas, this would be $80,000 of fun if you're actually going to use it for that purpose, and not baby the thing, because, well, that wouldn't be very much fun. And this car is, of course, electronically limited to, I believe, just over 110 miles an hour. So you only get 120 on the speedometer, but it's a Jeep Wrangler. You're not really going to be going 140 miles an hour in this thing, if you enjoy your life, that is. Some handles to grab onto just to ensure that if you do take this thing off-roading, you and your passenger, well, you're going to be gripping the steering wheel nice and hard, but your passengers can grab onto some stuff. All in all, guys, it's nice. Leather seats, good amount of storage, lots of space in the back. You get a good amount of trunk space, heated seats, no cooled seats. I really wish there were cooled seats because that'd be nice right now. One of the best sounding V8s I've heard in a while. Lot of options, but again, over half of them are going to be for off-roading purposes, so not much of a point to use them on the road here. And yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. Is this worth $80,000? I got in this thing thinking no shot, but now that I've driven it, it's convincing me. Appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!